There's folks that know you, and then there's people that don't. It's beautiful to go to the shows because now you see people that bring their kids. There's everybody in my audience from 7 to 70, you know, and that's beautiful. It's about all of us being together.
Episode 418 of the Bobbycast. We are all packed in a SUV driving to Kansas City from Manhattan, Kansas. And we're going to get to the Lenny Kravitz interview in just a second. But before we get to it, I thought we would check in, and because Lenny Kravitz makes my list of top 5 coolest people that I've ever met.
It's pretty cool, man.
And I think also someone gets cooler when you don't spend a lot of time with them. Like if you just get a second with them, there's no way they can prove to you they're not that cool. And Lenny Kravitz was as cool as you could possibly be.
But you do think if you spent like 30 more minutes with him, you'd be like, oh, I can't stand this guy.
I think he'd be more normal, like a normal person.
Got it.
Because everybody's normal.
Yeah.
You may not like some people because of their personality. You may love some people because of personality, but everybody's still just a person. And so I think some of his like fictional hero shine would fall off as soon as you see like somebody farts.
Sure.
You know, or somebody drools in their sleep. Like I don't know why I'd be farting or drooling with them, but
interesting.
You know what I mean? So, but it's the coolest. I put him on my list of top 5 coolest people I've ever met, musicians of all time. So we're going to go through. Who's all got a list? Eddie got a list?
I have a list.
Kevin, you got a list?
Yeah.
Anybody else back there got a list?
I got a list.
Oh, everybody's got a list. Okay, we're rolling 5.
It'll be a long podcast.
Do you have a list?
Negative.
Okay. Our driver does not have a list.
He didn't get the email.
No, okay, that's okay. That's okay. What's your name?
Warren.
Warren, who's the coolest famous person you ever met?
Warren
Davis.
Keep your eyes on the road, Warren.
He's looking at the road. You got both hands on the wheel. I'm holding the microphone in case anybody is. Who's Angela Davis? So, how'd you meet Angela Davis?
I met her when she came into town for a forum.
Did you drive her?
I did.
Did she tip you good?
She tipped me with wonderful wisdom and knowledge that I didn't know before.
See, I don't want that. I want cash. Just for everybody listening out there. I don't want you to tip. When I used to wait tables, people would tip me with Jesus bucks.
Knowledge is priceless.
Yeah, but I like money too because the knowledge don't pay the rent, you know?
Hey, every little bit helps.
I like that, Warren.
I used to wait tables and they would leave this fake look. I think it was money, and they'd look and it'd be like, money with Jesus' head on it, your Lord and Savior. And I'd be like, that's true and all, but I also got to pay the bills. Like, I appreciate that money, but also leave a real one. Leave a George Washington too. All right, guys, here we go. Top 5. Eddie, why don't you go first? Number 5 on your list.
Number 5, I'm going to go with Jimmy Buffett. Rest in peace. Man, that was awesome when I met him. I'm just a super fan of Jimmy, and I met him at a concert. I went to go see Jake Shimabukuro, who's like a ukulele player, and he was telling a story on stage about how he went on tour with Jimmy, and Jimmy really just gave him the great opportunities to play to huge audiences. And I heard somebody laugh right behind me, and I look over, and it's freaking Jimmy Buffett. It's crazy, cool, man. And it was a tiny little venue. We talked a little bit. I geeked out, and he took a picture with me and my family. It was unbelievable.
Did he take a picture with you and your family, or did you take a picture with him?
I took a picture.
Okay, yeah, there's a difference there. This one, okay. Number 4, Eddie.
Pharrell Williams. And no, this was before the studio. It was South by Southwest, and I was working with a camera crew, and they sent us over to go interview Pharrell. And it's a hotel room. We get to the hotel, 4 Seasons, knock on the door. Pharrell opens the door and says, "Who the are you?" And grabbed us all by the shirt and threw us into the room. And he was not laughing. He wasn't smiling. He said, threw us against the wall. He's like, "What are you doing here in my room?" And we're like, "We're supposed to be doing an interview with Mr. Pharrell." He's like, "No one told me about a beeping interview." And he just went on and on. "Who are these people?" He asked his manager. And then I was about to cry. And then he goes, "I'm just messing with you guys."
You're not being overly dramatic about him grabbing you by the collar and throwing you against the wall.
No, dude, I swear he was yelling at us.
But he grabbed you. I'm not letting a grown man throw me up against a wall.
Dude,
ever.
I was, 25 years old? 26 years old?
I believe most of that story.
No,
Mike,
100%.
I don't know. A grown man I've met Pharrell. He ain't that big to throw you up against the wall.
Sounds like a lawsuit.
Yeah, exactly.
That was before lawsuits.
Kanye with the camera, the phone
lawsuit right there.
All right, number 3.
2 of the 5 members of Pearl Jam, Stone Gossard and Mike McCready. I met those guys. I haven't met Eddie Vedder yet, but this is just, again, just big fan of Pearl Jam, so it was really cool meeting them.
How'd you meet them?
They all had side projects. I think Stone had a band called Brad, and they were in Houston, and I went to the show and waited for him afterwards, and they came out. And
then fan, like a real fan.
Huh?
You waited like a real fan.
Oh, yeah, outside the venue after they were done. And then Mike McCready, he was in another band. Gosh, I forgot what it was called. He was just the guitarist of the band. And then same thing, waited afterwards, met him.
Yeah. I don't really know who they are, so I can't really act like that one's that cool.
They're in Pearl Jam.
I know that, but it's like the bassist and the backup drummer.
Well, but the Pearl Jam is one unit. Like that's one band.
That's like Dave from the Counting Crows. Like I know I'm supposed to like him, but
Dave.
Yeah. All right, number 2, Eddie.
Garth Brooks.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean, unbelievable. And what's cool about Garth is he may not know your name, but he acts like he knows your name. He's like, "Hey, Eddie, good to see you," and I'm like, "Garth Brooks knows me," but I don't think that's the case. Do you think somebody tells him?
I think this is Eddie. Both. Hold on, I'm getting the valley down there. Is that what you're saying?
Beautiful place for a sunset when you come down here to Manhattan. That sunset
look at the view
right over there. It's like it gives a picturesque view of like a mini Grand Canyon.
I thought I was doing something wrong because he's pointing, and I was like, "What?" I thought I was holding the handle wrong. It is. Now I'm glad you did that, but I was like, "Dang, am I in trouble?" That's
holding the old crap bar like I'm about to bring you off the road.
That's right. I live on the old crap handle. Okay, my number 1 there, Eddie.
Willie freaking Nelson.
That's a good one.
It's pretty awesome, man. Like I was working for the news, went to go interview Willie. They sent me out there with a reporter, and we went to Willie's ranch. And this was like outside of Austin, and we pull up to a gate, and this old pickup truck comes down the road, and it's Willie. And he's just, he's got braids on like you expect him to, and he opens the gate, jumps out of the car, opens the gate, waves us on through. We follow him, and his tour bus is parked outside his like mansion. And we walk in, and we go in the tour bus, and the TV's on. There was macaroni and cheese on the stove, like
on the tour bus.
Yeah. So he told us this too. Even when he's home, he stays on the tour bus. He says
he's so used to being on the bus.
That's right.
Wow.
He said his wife she lives in the house, and he's like, and I live in the tour bus. He's like, we see each other once a week.
That's crazy that you stay in the bus.
I
guess he spent most of his life in that bus.
It's pretty amazing. And so we talked to him for, I think we stayed there for about an hour and a half. And he told us stories about Ray Charles and Bob Dylan. And one of the coolest stories ever they told me about Ray Charles was that Ray used to go to the ranch and they would play chess. And he said Ray would make him turn the lights off to make it even. So they would play chess in the dark.
That's funny. But how would he know? I would just lie.
How would Ray know?
Yeah, I just lie. Yeah, hey, the lights are off, Ray. All right, checkmate.
Pretty amazing.
Mike, let's do your list. Top 5 coolest musicians.
My number 5 is Matt Skiba, the lead singer of Alkaline Trio. I was like,
is all this going to be?
Oh yeah, you're not going to know any of these people.
Right. So you're going to have to tell us then who these bands are too. So
Alkaline Trio is my favorite band growing up. I was in their fan club, so you would pay money and you'd go to like sound check. So I went to sound check, and Matt Skiba was like my hero growing up.
And he was the singer.
He was the lead singer.
What's their song that I would know?
Time to Waste was probably their biggest on the chart.
How's it go?
You had time to waste, and I'm not sorry. Or Armageddon.
Yeah. We don't have to. Yeah. So you met him. He was working the drive-thru. What'd you say?
No, he was playing the show.
Oh, got it. Was he nice?
He was awesome.
Okay. Alkaline Trio. The lead singer name.
He was also later in Blink-182.
Oh, he was the filling guy.
Yeah, he was the filling guy.
Got it. The guy.
Do you really know who that is, Eddie?
Got it.
Oh, okay.
I just know the fake fill-in guy from Blink. Yeah. Okay, next up.
Number 4 is Tim Armstrong, the lead singer of Rancid. I was 12 years old. I went to Warped Tour for the first time ever. Just got in the gates. About 30 minutes, I see him walking around drinking coffee. And it was like meeting a punk legend.
I wish I knew more to ask questions about. But Rancid, I feel like, sounds like a band from the 80s.
They were like late 80s, early 90s. His first band was Operation Ivy with the lead singer.
Well, now you're talking. Yeah, Operation Ivy?
Yeah, with the lead singer of Green Day. Billy Joe Armstrong. They were in a band together.
Really?
So they're friends, and then he formed Rancid.
Why'd they not stay together?
Because I think Operation Ivy was only together for like 6 months. Put out one really impactful punk record.
All right, number 3?
Number 3 is Davey Havok, the lead singer of AFI. You would know that, Miss Murder.
Yeah. Sing it.
Hey, Miss Murder Can.
Oh, I know that. Hey, Miss Murder Can. I do know that song.
Yeah, this was earlier this year. They played Bonnaroo, and every Sunday I go get an acai bowl, and I was sitting there waiting for my order, and I see Davey Havok walk in.
You recognize it?
And I was the only one.
That's hilarious.
I freaked out. My wife was in the bathroom, and I was like, you're not going to believe this. Davey Havok is here. And she's like, who is that? And
Isn't it weird when a punk guy gets old?
Kind of, but he's so cool looking.
I mean, I just in general, because that genre is young.
Yeah.
It's all, you know, it's weird to see our like favorite hip hop artists get old because hip hop is such a new it started in the 70s.
Yeah, when their tattoos start to fade, like, the colored hair isn't there anymore.
We've seen rockers get old for so long that it's not as weird because rockers from the 50s, they died before we even got to, you know, we saw old rockers, but
I feel that now
hip-hop,
with Blink-182 is still dressing like they're 20 years old.
It's weird, yeah.
Like, oh man.
Old Blink-182 is weird.
But he was so nice, and we just had like a casual interaction, and like I didn't ask for a picture or anything. It was just like, he just asked me my name. That morning, I just happened to run to an AFI song, and I told him about that. He's like, you summoned me, man.
That was the name of my punk band in high school, Casual Interaction.
Yeah.
Eddie, here's a song. You'll know when it gets to the chorus.
It was on Rock Band.
Yeah. I've heard that.
That's a good song.
Yeah, it's good. All right, Mike. And
Warren still says he doesn't know.
Warren, you don't know it?
Negative. I did meet Axl Rose this past week.
You made Axl Rose? What? Lead with that. What? Did you drive Axl Rose?
No, I didn't. I was part of a group of guys that were with him, and they
doing what?
In town. Guns N' Roses was in town, and Alice in Chains was here Saturday.
What was he like?
I didn't meet Alice. I happened.
No, the Axl.
I just happened to wave at him. He looked at me. We made eye contact. He put the 2 fingers up, and I waved, and he went out on the bus.
He tip you? No knowledge, no money, either one.
He really didn't talk to me. He just walked by and he gave me the peace sign, and I waved, and that was it.
Man, that's pretty cool though. Yeah. Do you know any Guns N' Roses songs?
Sweet Child of Mine.
Ah, sweet child of mine. Oh.
Let's see, Take Me Home.
Take me down to the oh wait, which one? Take me down to Paradise City.
You're doing John Denver.
Take me home, country road.
No. And then Night Train, and then Welcome to the Jungle.
It's not just like that, huh?
Something like that.
Yeah.
You're gonna die.
You're gonna die, mother. All right, Mike. Oh, yeah, number 1 now?
Number 2.
Number 2, go ahead.
Number 2 is Dolly Parton in 2017.
Oh.
I think the superstars.
Oh, I should have put Dolly on my list.
It's cool meeting a superstar, and you know why they're superstars because they make everybody feel special.
Yeah.
She had no reason to say hi to me. I was working in the glass room, and then she walks in and said, "Who's that in there with hair wilder than mine?" Because my hair was all spiky.
Yes.
And it was one of the coolest things ever to see Dolly Parton and then actually acknowledge you and talk to you.
That's cool. I should have put Dolly. I can't change my list because we made them before we got in the car. That's a good one. And actually, I like it because I know who she is. All right, one.
And number 1 is Childish Gambino, a.k.a. Donald Glover. Whenever he first came to the studio in Austin, Bobby read an essay that I wrote how much I love Donald Glover. I read it to him on the air, and then afterward I got to meet him.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right, let's go back to Kickoff Kevin, who is in the back seat. I don't know if I can hear him.
Way back here.
All right, Kevin, coolest. Number 5.
Number 5, it actually happened last weekend, and it's going to be Flavor Flav.
Oh, yeah, he was super, like, nice, right?
But he was so cool. Yeah, the best part is, like, Eddie and I were watching Tim McGraw perform at the time, and he was so into it, and I went up and tapped him on the shoulder to ask for a picture, and he's like, no, not right now. And I said, okay, no problem. And then after Tim got done with his set, he came up to me, tapped me, and he's like, hey, let's get that picture now.
That's cool.
Like, really came to find you.
Yes.
He was in the back. I was talking with him a little bit in the back, but he was talking to he was just like being normal and was super kind to everybody that came up to him. That's super cool. Number 5. Number 4.
It was awesome. Gary Stanton. Do you know who that is?
No.
Part of a band.
Who?
No.
One of the Muscadine Bloodline. We've talked about him before a little bit. Favorite band currently of the last couple of years. He's one of the main 2 guys. I met him at Enchanted out there in Nashville. They do at the Sound Stadium. Just walking one night with my girlfriend at the time, and he was with his wife, and he stopped, talked to us for like 10, 15 minutes. It was great.
That sounds like a long time.
Yeah.
I don't talk to people I like for 10 minutes.
Does he live in Nashville?
Right outside of Nashville.
Okay.
I think he was working there.
Yes.
Yeah. And actually went to a show the night before that, too.
Really?
Yeah.
And what do you yell? Gary? Do you know him? I'll have to go Gary or Muscadine
like, hey,
or what?
Gary, what's up? Sorry. No, but he's like, you look familiar. I was like,
oh, no, you never want to be the one that looks familiar. Oh, no. That's like the Alkaline Trio guy and Mike.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not
All right. Next up, number 3.
Number 3, we just talked about him a little bit. Tim McGraw. Met him in studio. For him, he's the guy that made me get into country music, like country music for the first time when I saw him at Stagecoach 6 or 7 years ago. So meeting him was like a really like surreal full circle moment for me.
Number 2.
Number 2 is Jelly Roll. I just think Jelly Roll's so cool. We've had him in plenty of times, I know, and you guys talk to him, but I just think he's one of the coolest guys ever.
Yeah, and also just real nice. Like the first time I met Jelly Roll was on a golf course like 5 years ago. And he was playing golf with a friend of mine named Steve who works at a record label. And I went and looked him up because I knew he was a rapper. And I was like, that's weird. This tattooed rapper was playing golf. I just thought that was weird itself. And then obviously he's in every genre now, but super, I feel like he's really grateful. You guys feel like that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like really grateful. All right, number one.
Number one, personal favorite of mine,
Chris Martin.
music-wise, Chris Martin. I wish, my favorite concert. Did I ever tell you about that?
What have you heard?
Cody Johnson. I'm just a huge fan of his, and so when I got to meet him, I met him the first time.
Kevin loves Cody Johnson.
I love Cody Johnson.
Like, love.
Is it new love though?
I love it. The first time I met him, I was actually drunk, and we were at CRS, like some event.
And Kevin hit on him.
Wait, is it like you just found him love, or it's like new and exciting, or have you loved him for a long time?
No, for like, last 4 years maybe.
Okay. I like Cody Johnson a lot.
He's awesome.
I just think he makes great music, and I saw him for the first time when I was drunk, and I was talking to him, and then I just like slapped him on the chest.
What?
I'm like, dude, I love you,
Oh,
man.
he'll kick your ass, dude. Don't do that.
That's one guy I would not do that to. And I like him. I ain't slapping him on the chest. Did you hear Pharrell beat up Eddie?
What?
Yeah. Maybe him and Cody can fight.
Yeah.
You still don't believe me. That's
All right. Kevin, thank you.
Yep.
Top 5 coolest people. Let's go to Reid.
Lil Dicky and Memphis.
Little Dicky Memphis.
Oh, my God.
I just want to say thank you, Bobby, because pretty much my whole list, I would not have met them without working for you.
Okay, I like it.
So
Not,
I feel like my list would have been before this would be like the Little Rock Chuck E. Cheese animatronic.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Yes, sir. All right, number 5, Reid.
All right. Number 5, I'm going Keith Urban. I've been a fan of that man since I was a child. His Golden Road record. That's like the reason I wanted to learn guitar. And met him in like this, I guess 2 months after working for Bobby.
Over at the house, right?
Yeah.
Like he drove his Rolls Royce over to the house.
Yep. He smelled amazing.
Yeah,
As soon
that
as he
smells
walked
good.
He always smells good, yeah.
What a guy. And he gave me a hug as we were leaving. I was like, God, I love you so much.
You slap him on the chest?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Number 4.
Number 4 is actually Ryan Tedder from One Republic.
Oh, yeah.
I met him in Memphis. He was doing the Memphis in May concert, and me and my girlfriend were just hanging out after his concert, and he was just like right behind the stage, just chilling, and nobody was saying anything, doing anything. So walked up there and said hi to him and talked to him for a little bit, and she's a huge One Republic fan as well, so it meant a lot to her. But that was a cool moment.
Was he nice?
Oh, super nice. He had just started doing a TV show that was called, what was it called? It was like something for songwriters.
Oh, I remember that
I
one.
remember that song too.
Yeah. Yep,
Yeah,
Songland.
Songland.
So I was telling him about that.
You were telling him about the show he was doing?
Yeah. I was telling him about
He's like, thanks, man. I
Yeah.
didn't know. Thanks.
It's like, hey, man, you know you're doing a show?
asking him about the news.
Check it out. You're on it, man. You're going to love it.
God dang it.
You need some tickets to it, Reid?
Jesus. Nobody understands that joke.
Reid's been asking for tickets all day long for random stuff. We were flying over here today, and he goes, hey, man, you got any tickets to Arkansas game? And I'm like, I don't. I'm not really. I don't have tickets to that game. He's like, oh, man, I knew you would, man. I just
Yeah.
I just seeing what's up because it's in Dallas. And I was like, I don't have any tickets.
figured.
And then like 20 minutes later, he's like, hey, man, you got tickets to your show? And I'm like, are you just looking for any ticket to anything?
He's like, and he said no, and he goes, yeah, that's why.
Yeah, I knew that.
I was going to pay, man.
Yeah, I know they got you the tickets. Yeah.
Oh, gee.
Okay, Reid, number 3.
Number 3 is I'm going to go Jared Leto that I met at the iHeart Festival just because I always forget that he's an artist.
You met him?
Yeah. I
that's cool.
I took a picture of him backstage, and he was wearing this crazy outfit, and as soon as he walked up, I was just like, dude, your outfit is insane. And he just goes, yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. And then just starts to strut like there's an invisible runway and nobody is looking at him, doing anything. So I just started snapping pictures of him.
Like in a nice way or a weird way? Like fun, like he's kind of making fun of himself kind of way, or like
it was like he knows.
Or
like
bizarre.
He knows it's ridiculous.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fine line.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
So he was doing the runway for you?
It felt like it. Yeah.
Like, so you could take pictures of him?
Did you slap him on the chest?
He was actually wearing a chest plate, so he would have been okay.
Got it.
Were you drunk?
I was not drunk. No, I was not drunk.
Does he know Lil Dicky?
He probably does, honestly.
All right.
Maybe he can give me some tickets.
Go ahead. Number 2.
Number 2, I'm going to go Garth, which I met when y'all played the Razorback Stadium, opening up for him. And somebody was telling me a story about him, and I can't remember who it was, but they were saying how Garth, before his shows, he'll like be out there like helping build the set and stuff like that, like on like ropes and crap, just helping put together everything. And I'm just like, that is insane for an artist to care that much to do that. And because he has a huge team, and he doesn't have to do any of that stuff.
Eddie, what do you think about that?
I don't think he does that anymore.
I don't either. I don't think you got beat up by Pharrell either, to be honest.
Well, somebody laughed at me.
Come on.
I think he probably has a time or two, if needed, done some stuff. But I think some of those urban legends.
And there was a time when Pharrell used to just throw people in
by the collar, I heard.
Yep.
I heard Pharrell used to just grab random people by the collar and scream at them. Yeah.
But
all right, next up, Reid.
And number 1 is Miss Reba McEntire, which was, like, I'm pretty sure the first person I met on the Bobbycast. And I was like,
oh, that's pretty heavy then.
This is ridiculous. No, it was like the second or third. And it was, that was a crazy moment for me, because she walked in and she was super, super friendly and asking me all different types of questions, and just, I love that woman.
Yeah, Reba's cool.
Well, what kind of questions was she asking you?
Well, it was actually
about the show called Songland.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she was asking you about The Voice.
She was asking about her albums.
Gosh, but yeah, she was awesome, and I used to watch Little Rascals, the remake, whenever I was a kid, and she's got like a cameo in it. So I asked her about that on the episode.
You did?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Like,
you're not invited to Bobbycast interviews anymore.
I'm learning all this right now, and I'm like, what?
This is what he does when you're not in the room.
Wait. He does.
And then she said no. He goes, I figured out.
I knew you wouldn't give me tickets, but I just playing.
That's it?
My God. All right. What's up?
I don't have a top 5. You didn't ask me. It's so many people I've met. So
I mean, the email.
I asked to say who's the coolest.
You said the one. You didn't say anything else. So I mean, I
didn't want to put you. I didn't want to put you on the spot.
I mean, I can go down. I mean,
let's go.
Warren.
So I had opportunity to meet T.I., Chingy, and the Ying Yang.
Oh, hold on. If you can tell, are they all together? You got to tell us a story with each of the meetings. All right.
It was a concert, and they were all there, and I met them in the green room. I met T.I., met Chingy, and then I met the Ying Yang.
Were they smoking, Warren?
No, they wasn't smoking.
Oh, that's good.
Now, some of the people are the entourage were, but they didn't smoke.
Got you.
Yeah.
Why is it good they weren't smoking? I wish I smoked.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, you expect that, and that they were a little cleaner than you thought.
That's only Snoop. Snoop smoked whether he is on or he ain't on. If he showcasing, he smoking. If he ain't showcasing, he's smoking. But that's Snoop.
And was Willie smoking?
Willie was smoking.
Right.
And it came out of nowhere, too. It was crazy. He was talking for like 10 minutes, and then I looked away probably for like half a second. Next thing you know, he had to join us.
He rolled one.
Yes, it was crazy.
So, okay, that's number 5. That's number 5, Warren. We're holding you to it now. Number 4.
Okay. Number 4 would be James Brown from the CBS Sports team.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
That's a cool one.
It was really cool.
Did he talk like he does on television?
Yeah. And I actually got the chance to meet the rest of the team, and they're the same way they are on TV.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Really nice.
All right, number 3?
Number three.
You had a lot of time to think about this
one. Yeah, you've been waiting on it. Yeah, because he got mad at me for not giving you 5 slots to put them in.
Well, I mean, you didn't ask me. You said 1.
Well, I didn't want to put you, though, on the spot and say 5, and then you said, I know 5, and then you're like a 3. I'm out. You tap out at 2.
Nope, you didn't. You just said 1. Okay. But I had the opportunity to meet Don Cheadle when I was in Chicago. When I was in Colorado, when I worked in Colorado. I met him and his wife, and it was just like an unexpected thing, and I walked past him, and I'm like, I know that guy. And then I turned around and I walked past him again. I said, you played in Swordfish. And I said, I like your work and, really appreciate what you're doing. He said, thank you. And come to find out, he's a native of Kansas City. So it was cool to run into another person from Kansas City when I was in Colorado.
That's pretty cool. Don Cheadle's cool. All right, Warren, number 2.
Number 2 would be the Water Boy, Adam Sandler.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
What was it?
Adam Sandler.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome. Okay, tell us about Adam Sandler.
So Adam Sandler came into town, and he actually did a show, I want to say back in January, February. He was doing like a little tour show, and actually met him, and we were talking about the Super Bowl prior to the game. And he was really cool. I mean, he didn't act like a stuck-up person like some celebrities, like, no, I'm not want to talk. He had a normal conversation and said, you know, so what do you think about the game? And what's good to eat in Kansas City and everything like that. So it was pretty cool experience. So
Do you do impressions? Because Adam Sandler was pretty good.
I don't know about that. I have my own little people that I created, you know.
Yeah, who's your favorite person you created?
Old dude named Stanley.
All right, let me hear about Stanley.
What was your name again?
My name's Bobby Stanley. Where are you?
Bobby, yeah. I was back in 42, and damn.
I think Stanley just died, guys. I think Stanley died.
I forgot. The war got me good. It got me real good down in that daggum foxhole, and you know they like to shoot over there, and my buddy Randolph was behind me.
Randolph.
And I said, Randolph. He said, what do you want? Randolph, keep your head down. What for? I got my butt 30-06. I'll shoot him dead center. And so I told him to just stay down, and it would be quiet. Won't nobody see us, and they'll walk right by us.
Hey, give it up to Stanley. With a special cameo from
Nice.
Reid.
That's amazing.
Let's go. All right, last one. Number one, coolest person ever.
You.
No, stop.
Hey.
You ran out. You
Hey.
ran out. You said you had 5, and you only have 4. You don't even know my name.
Yeah, Bobby.
Exactly.
It says on the invoice.
That's right.
Oh, the man. And with the master plan. That
Bobby.
Have you met Mahomes?
Bobby Hill. No, I have not. I've met some other players. I met Tyrann Mathieu. I met Jawan Taylor. I've met Tony Gonzalez.
Hospital.
I met Lynn Dawson before he passed.
Would have been weird if you met him after he passed. I'll be honest with you.
Say what?
It'd been weird if you met him after he passed.
Well, you know, you can always meet somebody in your dreams.
Yeah. You ever had a dream come true?
Not yet.
You ever? Do you believe that dreams are some sort of manifestation of something in your life?
I do.
Why do you believe that? What do you think happened? What's a dream? Because I don't know enough about dreams. I don't have dreams. I don't sleep that good.
Well, you do, but you might not remember it. Sometimes some things that you dream about, because they say the mind is at a very idle state when you sleep, and some of the things that you might have thought about actually will pop. And if it does, it's not something that you want to hold on to, or you're not affixed to. It'll be like a flash, and it'll come and go. Like, it could be something that you did in your childhood that'll pop in your mind, and then it's like, you know what? I never did that when I was a kid, but I saw a grown-up do it. Let's do it. Like, go cliff jumping. But, you know, you was too scared to do it when you was a kid.
Still too scared to do that. So, you believe in ghosts?
I believe in paranormal. Yeah. It happened.
Wait, what?
Come on.
I've seen it happen.
Come on.
Stanley saw it happen, or you saw it happen?
No, I saw it happen myself.
Where did you see a ghost?
Well, it's kind of like a backstop, but it's kind of like a personal thing. I lost my sister to cancer, and her bed was in my parents' house. And when I went into the room was cold, and the rest of the house was warm. And so I had to regroup, and then I started talking out loud, calling my sister out. And then when I walked back into the room was the same temperature as the rest of the house.
No way.
Honest to God.
Didn't that freak you out?
It was an uncomfortable feeling, because I wasn't expecting the temperature of the room to change. And they said that when spirits are around, the temperature changes, and you just have to focus in and just not be afraid. If there's nothing to be scared of.
Let's take a quick pause for a message from our sponsor. And we're back on the Bobbycast.
Bones, tell him the story about your grandma. See what he thinks about that one. The guitar.
Okay, so quick version. My grandma raised me for a lot of my life because my mom was gone, my dad left. So my grandma adopted me. And so my grandma played guitar in church, but she never had any like formal training. She just learned how to play. And I was always like, because she was older, so my grandma, so we had a big age difference. Like, you always have to send me a sign like after you die. I would always tell her that. And she'd always be like, don't talk about dying. I ain't dying. Well, eventually she died. And I remember being like, okay, if you're out there, you said you'd send me a sign. And an old guitar that she had in the house that I had propped up against the wall fell over.
I can see that.
But also the air conditioner came on around the same time. So it could have been like a pressure change too from the air conditioner.
I doubt that very seriously.
I don't know. It kind of freaked me out a little bit, but also makes you feel good at the same time. But you believe in aliens?
Yep.
Me too.
I've seen traces here in the state of Kansas, and then when I was in Arizona, when I lived in Arizona, I saw lights that were, you couldn't describe them.
Were you drinking? Because my brother, I'm telling you, Warren, because my brother's had 2 sightings, but the story always starts with, well, I was having a couple beers.
Yeah.
No alcohol was involved, either one. I actually, when I was married, me and my fiance at the time were coming away from a restaurant, and I saw off in the distance, it was a couple of orange orbs in the sky, and they didn't move. And I kept looking. I'm like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? Then when I got past, dropped down into the valley of the road and came back up, they were straight up in alignment. And then they all of a sudden they just moved over, but they wasn't blinking like you would normally see like a airplane has its beacons. These weren't beacons. They were just solid little orange balls, and they sat there and they just shifted, and then all of a sudden they just disappeared.
And I'm on your team, your side, but you don't think, because people always tell me like, you don't think that's like the government like practicing some sort of aerial technology, security, safety type thing?
Bobby, we talking about in the Midwest. We're not talking about in California, New York, Texas, where they say they got sightings on a regular basis. This is in the middle of the United States. So I doubt very seriously that anybody from any military, Area 51 or any of those areas came all the way down to the Midwest just to fly around and then just disappear. I doubt that very seriously.
You alien?
Am I what?
Are you alien?
Am I an alien?
No, yeah, you alien believer?
No, I know. I got my citizenship.
No, are you an alien believer?
I was born in
you were born in
Texas.
America.
Yeah.
No. Let me do my list. You guys are... All right, final 5 list here. Number 5. I would put Lenny Kravitz a 5 just because it's too new to put anywhere else. He's in my list, top 5. I'm gonna play the interview with him in just a second, but he was awesome. He was super nice. The funny story is I didn't know he was coming. I didn't know I was gonna interview him. And so I'm standing there and I see a guy walk in with a lot of leather on and sunglasses, and you just know it's an artist, even though if you don't know who it is. You just know they're wearing. And they're like, Bobby, this is Lenny. And I was like, oh. And I thought somebody else was gonna interview him. So I was gonna hop off and let them do it. And they were like, no, you're gonna interview Lenny. Lenny, this is Bobby. And so I did the interview. But I remember I didn't really know what he was there for. Meaning, Mike, do you have any new music or anything?
I don't think so.
They just paid me. Okay, I know he just played, but I don't know if he was like has a new project or anything. So I didn't know what to ask him. So I just remember telling him he was awesome. You'll hear it in the interview. I never listened back. And then I remember singing to him.
The guitar riffs?
Oh, yeah.
You did that part.
I did ask that question. Now, thinking back, I was really stupid in this interview. But you'll hear it coming up in a second. Number 4, Sheryl Crow. I don't know that there's many people just cooler on the whole planet than Sheryl Crow anyway, because she is very just DGAF.
Yeah.
Her story of, she was a teacher, then she was background singer for Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's in LA hustling, just trying to make it as a background singer. She just has such an edge to her still today. And she also yelled at me in the parking lot of the mall like 3 weeks ago.
When did you first meet her? Do you remember that?
I never met her until Nashville. I remember listening to Tuesday Night Music Club over and over and over on tape. Are you strong enough to be my man? I was like, yes, I am. But I was like 12. And so, man, I love Sheryl Crow. And then she was always super cool. She'd come in the studio, and then we would see each other out. But like a few weeks ago, I was walking into the mall, and she goes, Bobby! I didn't know it was her. I just thought it was somebody yelling at me. So I didn't even look. I just kept walking. Bobby! And I keep walking. She goes, it's Cheryl. And I look back and it's Cheryl Crow and her kid. And she's like,
That's awesome.
yeah, it was cool. And she was like, that's Bobby who we listen to every morning. She's super. She's the coolest and also the nicest.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
At the same time. And she also, she like went hard too.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
you watched that documentary. Is that good?
Yeah, and she went hard. And like she was with Kid Rock for a while. And she was with Lance Armstrong.
That was weird.
And she was with Eric Clapton.
She was?
Yeah.
Didn't know that part.
She went hard. Okay, so Lenny Kravitz, Sheryl Crow, 5 and 4. And number 3, Chris Martin.
Oh,
Coldplay.
my favorite concert. I love that band.
So, Kevin, tell me more about your story before I tell you why I love Chris Martin.
About when I saw them in concert?
I don't know. They're giving you a hard time. I don't know the story.
Yes, you do. He told. Remember, he had his favorite concert ever. Well, first you said, "Who's Chris Martin?" He said, "No idea, no idea." And then you said, "What's your favorite concert?" He said, "Coldplay." In Spain.
Yeah. Were you
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't really have a story. It was just a good concert.
Yeah, but I just couldn't name the artist, but it was also my favorite concert. I didn't know the lead singer's name, but I love Coldplay. I just didn't know the name of the lead singer.
Mike, didn't you see Chris
Martin is such a generic name.
Yeah, we were in Malibu, and I was walking to a post office to mail back some of your clothes, and then I see this Jeep pulling up. I look at the driver, and it's Chris Martin, and apparently he owns like some art house, so he was driving into it.
Mike and I have lived in a lot of places temporarily for years at this point, meaning I'll go shoot a show, and we were all staying for weeks in Malibu, right? Was I doing American Idol?
Yeah, I was doing Idol.
And then doing the radio show so we were juggling a lot of crap. And Michael's like, I just saw Chris Martin in a Jeep or something like that. Chris Martin to me is always he was super weird, but I think that makes him cool because he's always extremely peculiar, odd.
I knew he was cool when he started dating Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, you just love Gwyneth Paltrow.
And then they got married, and then they had kids.
I just like him because he's just bizarre. Every time I've ever met him, he's just bizarre.
Mike, how did you know that was him? Like, is that obvious?
I can spot celebrity. That's my hidden talent. So I just immediately recognized his face. And then I looked up the Jeep he drove, and it was the same one.
Also, the funny thing was, we had to mail my clothes back at times. Like, that's how we were living.
Yeah.
We would just mail clothes back to the house because we didn't know where I was going to be next. And I had too many clothes. Idol would, like, get me these clothes. And so we just put them in a box and just mail them home after I wore them. Living together for Dancing with the Stars was
Yeah, that was a life hack we learned.
Yeah.
Mail the clothes back if you
mail
don't have a suitcase.
clothes back if you ever want to see them again. You can't fit them in a suitcase. That Dancing with the Stars was hard when we doing radio.
I never had a college experience. Like, I never stayed in a dorm. That was my college experience.
Mike and I lived 5 feet from each other in Glendale, California, which is LA. And then I'd go train all day, come home, I'd be miserable, and then I would go to the studio thinking there's no way I can pull this off. And then we did it. Not won the show, we actually did the radio show. That was the way we pulled off.
Yeah.
Number 2, Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day. And I thought Mike, you'd like that one.
Yeah, I've never met him. Never even seen Green Day.
Really?
No, never seen him.
I've seen him in concert a couple times, but I met him at iHeart Festival maybe last year.
Like 3 years ago.
I don't know, dude.
It wasn't the one where he freaked out, was it? Where he smashed his guitar?
Maybe.
They were cutting him off. They told me he had 1 minute left. He's like, 1 minute?
That's it.
I'm out of here.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I think that was the very first iHeart ever.
Yeah, it wasn't that one then. This was like recent, last couple years. Maybe
So
3 years.
after he got sober.
Oh, was that the deal? He wasn't.
Yeah, I think after that he went to rehab.
He was really nice, and we were talking about the history of country music, and he had just watched the documentary because it just aired on PBS, and because it's like 15 parts.
With Ken Burns one?
Yeah, it was really good, and we were actually talking about how country music is a bit misunderstood, and people have the wrong idea of what it is, which it's actually European with the fiddle, and from Africa with the banjo, and that's where country music rooted from. So not from rednecks that that ain't country. Like, literally, we're lucky to have the music because it's Europeans that brought it over, and it's music that came from Africa over here, and that's what came together. And we were just talking about that, and I was like, dang, Billy Joe Armstrong,
That's crazy.
that's hardcore. Yeah, like he did the history of it. And then number 1, here we go. I'm going to tell you the story without telling you the person. You guys may already know this story. I know Mike does. Mike knows all my stories 8 times. We were shooting a finale of American Idol, and there was a band that was playing it. I was very excited to finally meet the lead singer of this band. I later got to meet the lead singer, but this is before then. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I can't wait to meet him. And so one of the producers of the show was like, hey, I'm going to go get down to the record store and get vinyls of a couple Weezer records. Oh, I just said who it was. God dang it.
How could you do that?
I'm tired, dude. We've been playing.
You believe it.
Anyway, I saw Rivers Cuomo, but I thought it was so cool because he did not give a crap about me and didn't even want to talk to me. But again, I just want consistency. So I was on his bus and everybody was signing it. And Rivers is in the back of the tour bus and he sees me up in the front of the bus with a record, like, hello, everybody, come sign my record. And he just shuts the door. He just shuts his bedroom door. And I was like, that's exactly what I wanted from him. That's what I expected of him. That's what he is. All good. So one of the other guys, the man took it back there and he signed it and I got it back.
What's the reputation? He's a recluse?
Oh, yeah, big time. Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's all I like, consistency. You can be weird.
Yeah.
Like if I saw Eminem and he wanted to give me a hug and like give some money to charity, I'd be like, well, that's weird. That's not what I expected. I didn't need Eminem to be mean.
I did see a video of him geeking out seeing Al Michaels.
Yeah, that's funny. I saw that too.
Yeah, so that was kind of out of character.
Yeah, I saw that too. Okay, well.
The Bobby Cast. We'll be right back. This is the Bobby Cast.
All these lists, and now let's get to it. This is now that I think back about it, possibly embarrassing interview that I did with Lenny Kravitz. Bobby Bones back here with Lenny Kravitz. You don't even know how much I've loved you in all the seasons of your life. So I'd like to tell you through song.
All the seasons.
Yeah,
I like that.
all the seasons. From like, are you going my? I mean,
no. Go back to the singing. Go ahead.
Okay, Lenny. Sometimes I would be sad and I would listen to your songs, and sometimes I would be happy. That's it. That's the song. What do you think? It's got it, huh? Yeah. Don't steal that. Copyright.
I promise.
All right. Let me ask you this. How in the world, how do you stay so relevant for so long? Because it's like you've always been cool.
Oh, that's a lot to follow.
Yeah.
I'm just me. I'm true to who I am. And I've been that throughout all of the years. When you have opportunities to say, follow the trends, I'm here to represent love and God and peace and unity. And as far as the art and the music, I'm very serious about staying out of the way, and I wait to receive what it is that I'm to be given, right? So the music that I write, it's not so much that I write it, it's given to me. It's out there, it's floating, and I'm blessed to be able to receive it, to pick it up, and then to transmit it. So, I'm not following my own things. I try to keep my ego and a lot of my thoughts out of it and really have pure connection with the creative spirit.
When you play a live show, and I've seen you a couple times, awesome live, but when you start a song, I feel like my feeling was when you hit that the crowd felt that opening lick, like they knew that song first. Like, are you going to go my way? What do you feel other than that one? When the song starts, what does the crowd light up immediately for? First note, and they're like, "That's it."
"Fly Away" is one of them.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good one. You thought I was kidding. I love you. Yeah.
I love you too, man.
Thought I was kidding about that. To play a show like this where it's all of these artists of all the different genres and the audience is fans of all different kinds of music, like, how do you feel about that where there's still an introduction of you to certain people?
Well, it's always going to be that way. There's folks that know you, and then there's people that don't, and as you get older and generations move, you keep doing your thing. And it's beautiful to go to the shows because now you see people that bring their kids, right? So there's everybody in my audience from 7 to 70, you know, and that's beautiful. It's about all of us being together.
Man, it's about me and you being together right now. It's all it is, Lenny. Me and you. What are you listening to when you get ready to play a performance? This is our question here, the audible question. Like, what's on the playlist?
What was I just listening to in the bus? I was listening to Roy Ayers. You know Roy Ayers?
Man, I would love to be cool and say yes.
Do you know
I
Roy
never heard
Ayers?
of him, no.
Ah.
I know. Do you like
Check
me
out.
less?
Do I like who?
Do you like me less because I don't know them?
No, not at all. I like you just the same.
Thank you. How do you spell it, though? Roy Ayers.
Ayers.
I would have looked up ROY AIRS.
Well, Roy, ROY, yes. AYERS.
And what do you
Roy
like?
Ayers.
What's their vibe?
And the song, jazz, funk, soul. It's really beautiful. He's a vibraphone player, right? So he plays the vibes and sings, and he has that song that you might know, My Life in the Sunshine.
I wish I could say yes.
Oh man,
but I can't because I don't. Maybe.
I tell you what.
Go ahead.
I'll come over.
Okay.
And I'll play you records. And
Hey, classic Hollywood. I'm
what's
going
happening?
over. Classic Hollywood. I'm so happy that you're playing this festival. Just been a big fan for so long, and super excited that a few people will be exposed to you tonight, but other people will get to celebrate you and your music, and we get to celebrate this music together.
I
So
appreciate that.
Lenny, thank you very much. I'm not a psycho. Thank you. I'm going to end with that. Thank you, Lenny. Good to see you. Good to see you, buddy. There he is, Lenny Kravitz.
All right.
Bobby Bones and Lenny Kravitz. Thank you very much. Everybody clap for the man. He's here. Can we get some
Thanks for listening to a BobbyCast production.